It seems that he has developed not only intellect but also intellect. He is the son of a major. In this episode something appears that in the manga he didn't have either. He's there training, interacting and receiving pressure, of course, from his father, Major. It's only at this moment that we see a mini flashback of Bill with his father that looks like the Bison from Street Fighter, in my opinion, that we realize that a child like that? At least close to his father you seem to be gigantic but in a comical way, which I found very good. Tell me, what do you think of Bill's thick voice? Interesting, isn't it? That we saw another child. Anna suffers a pressure in some way even more than Lloyd or imagine for her to get stars and have the high commitment at school. Dan Yen also has this pressure also very much because of who he is, what others expect from them, and we also see on Bill's side that he is the son of someone equally important, a major. The father comes and says, you have to be number one, you have to get all these stars. So he is also there not only for himself, and here comes the part of brilliance that is the game that of course for anyone who is a fan of Hunter x Hunter is impossible not to remember. The very dynamic within that is a burning, even because this whole game has gained much more dynamism and was epic in relation to the pages of the manga, because we had additions there, special moves, the effects of course, not only sound, right? The mix, but also each throw, sometimes bringing effects almost as if they were a blow, a power, that gained battle dimensions. This is very good because it is epic, but of course we understand the comic behind it. It is not grotesque, weird, it is comical and cool at the same time. Besides being ludic, we can understand, for example, that in the heads of several 6-year-old children all that is there is a great battle. It is a great challenge. Why not put this imagination, these effects, that simple game that for them took a level, right? And despite all of Demi's efforts, Bio is a killer. He can take it with one hand, he doesn't even move his muscles right, and he can take down 4 at once. And then during this battle, or rather during the burning game, we had several other references to start again. The issue of training with his friends was also a very good addition, again playful in a scenario that was clearly an allusion to Anamikute, the planet, right? The Dragon Ball Z scenario, and actually they were always on the playground, right? On that climbing toy that I never know the name of, and then that tire that comes back, you know, 6 years ago we imagined everything with extra colors, so for them to be climbing on that toy on the playground, it was basically climbing a mountain without a cliff. Those attacks where he jumps over his friend and throws the ball from the top to the bottom, all that didn't happen in the manga. Of course they tried to attack, failed. The ball came, fell a lot, but it was all much faster. Less dynamic, less fantasy, no gained a gigantic dimension that wasn't so elongated and so bloody, right? Dramatic as in Hunter, but for the level of family parents, seriously people, I think it might be my favorite episode so far, because it was so good. And after they fail for the last time, even, one of the friends there, of the one I can't remember the name of, he throws himself in front and gets hit in the face, and the inclusion again of the anime was this near-death scene, right? Post-battle, he dying, because he sacrificed himself for his friend and gets up, right? The thumb, that scene is a time from several other anime. The other friend's own desperate scream reminded me maybe also of a Joseph Joestar scream, in a very iconic scene. Dramatic but comical, so it was very enjoyable to watch. At least I really loved all this editing in the direction of the episode. But I'll tell you if you liked it, or if you thought it was too much fun and not worth it. And here comes the biggest challenge for Bill, that strangely to him was Nanika, the one from End. As a matter of fact, in the beginning of the episode there was Rend Vendo fighting again, right? It was part of the extra chapter 2, and thinking how inelegant these kids are, being the difficulty of their interaction, and thinking that it was nice that he advanced this chapter because it was a progression, right? Inelegant fighting, then them fighting together, striving in partnership, in the end fighting again. And the moment they were together was when Anya, she could read Bill's mind. I'm going to throw on the leg. She jumped on the right arm. She took off on the left arm. She turned around. Now I'm going to use my secret blow that actually hits the person that deflected. She stood still. All of this left the mind tormented, and it's cool because despite the thick voice, the gigantic body, he has a behavior at this moment, a childlike pattern. He gets teary-eyed, he wants to cry, he makes that face that looks even weird in a body that looks like an adult, like a crybaby, like a little kid. Unfortunately for what happens is that Anya forgets to defend herself from the people who are there dead behind her and she stumbles. As she sidesteps, she doesn't have time to get up for Bill's next attack even though she was studying what he was going to do next, and then Bill, who was already getting a little nervous, who said he doesn't attack women hard, he loads up that ball with all the power and then he sees the force that the boy attacked Anna, and let's think that this was fractions of a second, and first he thinks, who told him to fall? Now it's her fault, he's going to get hit, but he's already going to move in front of her not to be attacked. He tries to hold on and he tries to receive that super heavy ball. It reminds a lot of Hunter x Hunter's feather really during the burn, and he almost holds on, right? He practically stops the ball, he makes it, the ball keeps spinning with the impact, with the force, but he can't hold on in time, so he gets burned, but he saves Anne, and of all the looks that Anne gave him during this episode, and is that at the beginning again they argue talking bad about each other and she looks with contempt, or with that sleepy, wonderful smile of hers. At this moment she looks with admiration. She thought, is he nice then? Did he defend Anne? But then Demon said no, in fact he was just tired of people on the team getting burned. In fact he defended Anne like that. He always goes out trying to keep that one, remembering that earlier and heard from the pre-match swearing that he needed to win this star to get closer to his father. Of course she still looks at him and thinks, I need to be friends, but you are a shopping mall, and she still looks at him and she still despises him, and they exchange curses at the beginning and at the end of all this, but she is slowly realizing that maybe with the least sensitivity that she can have in her mentality of a child, of course, that this boy may need help. And that is when Anna's moment comes, of impulse for this throw ever, is that we saw that Anya apparently had the will. She wanted to avenge the death of her colleague who was not dead, but in her head it was as if she had. She makes all the movements but throws the ball downwards. She lacked a little bit of technique, the punch was more efficient, and of course after that a simple return ball, and Bill finally eliminates Anya and they win the match without getting the star, because gossip was just gossip. And at this moment Renderson thinks that for Anya's elegance and now working together and defending each other, that yes, deserved a star, but soon after they fight again, as is the commonplace of these, and the episode ends bringing to us, or to me at least, one fun moment. I loved it. I hope that from now on we have more editions like this, and I hope for great things from now on, because there are still a lot of surprises until the end of this season.